I've heard of lunchbox amps, but this isn't even a lunchbox amp. This is something you can put inside a lunchbox amp. It is so tiny. This is the JOYO Jackman. It is part of their Bantamp series on here. And this one essentially is a mini JCM 800. It's a 20-watt amplifier with 2 channels. There's a gain, tone, and volume control per channel. You've got a Bluetooth connection in here so that you can stream music to it. And on the back, you've got a speaker output, you've got an effects loop, and a headphone output on here. This one is pretty easy to understand its overall functionality, so we're just going to dive straight into some tones. Let's go. I've got a Fender Strat Ultra 2 plugged straight into the Jackman. The first thing that I want to explore is how much drive we can get out of this clean channel, and I also want to explore how much headroom you can get on the clean channel. What I've found is once you get the master volume on the clean channel to around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, kind of starts running out of steam, but it does change the character of the tone a little bit. It kind of warms everything up, which I think is pretty cool. So there's definitely some incentive to crank that volume up on here. I'm running the Jackman into my Marshall 4x12 with 25-watt greenbacks. I've just mic'd it with a single SM57 off-axis. Let's hear the bridge pickup in single coil mode to start. There's some nice chime happening on that clean channel on there, and pushing the gain all the way up on the humbucker mode gets you a nice rock style crunch on there. Let's move over to the second channel though, because for me anyway, this is where all the fun begins. We'll play around, especially with the master volume on here, because having it lower while being quieter is a little bit tighter sounding overall as well. And as you crank it up, you kind of run out of steam once you get to about 2 or 3 o'clock on there, but then it starts to sag and do all the fun things we love about amplifiers when they're cranked. Let's start on the bridge humbucker here. I've got the gain just below noon, the other 2 controls on there at noon. We get this. that small and that inexpensive really has no right to sound that good. And yes, I am playing some wonderful guitars through it. I've got a great cabinet that I love the sound of and an excellent recording back end, but it doesn't change the fact that that sounds that way and it's that small and it's that inexpensive. What I want to do now is run it with my PRS DGT. I love the way this bridge pickup sounds, especially in drop D. I do find on the crunch channel here that, for my taste anyway, I've kind of got to crank the tone control up. But I'm going to hit this with a Boss SD1 in front of it. So I've brought the gain down. I might actually just set that at around noon. We'll hear it unboosted and then boosted on this bridge humbucker. It's super fun boosted on there, and I do like the overall feel, especially once you can open up the volume control and get it past, say, around 1 o'clock on both channels on there. I'm actually really impressed with the crunch sound and the clean sound on here. I think they complement one another really well. Part of this does remind me just a tiny amount of my old Cherrytone Son of Yeti. There's something about, I think, the feel under the fingers of the overall amp and just how it reacts to the way I play that I really like. There's not as much gain on tap there, but hitting it with the SD1 makes up for that. So I'm going to pull up stumps for now. I'd love to know your thoughts on the Bantamp series in general. Have you checked one of these out? Do you have one of the other models? If so, which one do you have? How do you like it? How are you using it? This is something that I can see a lot of people grabbing just as a great practice solution as well as a backup in case of emergency at a gig. You know, you could probably fit that into most guitar bags and not have to think too hard about it. And if your main amp goes down, this would give you some nice stage volume. And then especially if you're miking up your amp, it is going to be more than enough to get through a show. Alternatively, you could run it through your cabinet at home. You could connect headphones and play along to it. And there is Bluetooth functionality on there, so you could stream music into it and then practice along. I also like that there is an effects loop as well. And it's basically what you see is what you get. There's 3 controls per channel. Dial in the amount of gain you want, the amount of volume, and then the tone control is just going to basically let you cater it to the type of guitar that you're using on there. Simple, effective, and at this price, if you're looking for a small amp like that, it's really hard to go past. I really like what JOYO have done with this, and I'd actually like to check out some more amps in the series. Well, until next time, thanks for watching the video. I will see you all next time.